This lesson is Solve Inequality Part 1. Here we have an example, x over 2 greater than or equal to 4. Since I have a number in the bottom, I want to bring it to the right hand side. So just multiply to the right hand side. So literally bring the 2 to the right hand side and it becomes multiplication. Okay, so once you bring the 2 over, it becomes a multiplication, then just multiply. 4 times 2 gives me 8. Okay, the symbol stays as is. Okay, after that, you're going to use the answer to graph, and always when you graph, always put 0 because we need to know where it starts, and then put the 8. That's where my answer will be. Now, how do I know which direction is going, to the right side or to the left side? Is based on this arrow right here. This arrow right here is pointing to the right side, so everything from the 8 to the right side. Okay, also note, if you have greater than, less than, this is considered open. Open, you will use parentheses. This is greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, it is considered close. Close, we will use bracket. Now the difference between open and close is the line underneath. If you don't have a line underneath, it is open. If there is a line underneath, then it is close. Okay, so one more time. This is the answer. After you move the 2 to the right hand side, that becomes multiplications. 4 times 2 gives me 8. The symbol stays all the way to the end, and when x is by itself, you are completely done. Use the answer to graph. Make sure you put 0 in because that's where the starting point is, and then somewhere on the right hand side put 8. You do not have to do one increment, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just somewhere out here put in 8 just to save time. Okay, now how do I know I'm going to the right? Is based on this symbol right here. This symbol, okay, this symbol right here is facing to the right side, so I start from 8, go to the right. How do I know to use bracket or parentheses? If I don't have a line, I will use parentheses. If I do have a line underneath, I will use bracket. So bracket from 8 all the way to positive infinity. Okay, once you finish the graph, then you will write it as an interval notation. When you write interval notation, always start from the left and then move to the right side. One more time, interval notation, always start from the right and go to the left. So here it is. There's start from the left, there's nothing here, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. You reach 8, and 8 is bracket, so I write 8 bracket followed by a comma. Okay, and then you keep going from 8, keep going to the right hand side, and there's still nothing here. However, the arrow kept pointing to the right side, so we will stop at infinity. Okay, and infinity is always use parentheses, and the reason is because we can't really reach infinity, so it has to be parentheses. So when you see infinity symbol, we use parentheses. Okay, so this is the answer after you solve. This is the answer of graph, and this is the answer for interval notation. Okay, one more time. Interval notation, start from the left and then move to the right. Okay, one more time. Since the left has nothing, keep moving until you reach 8. 8 has a bracket, so you bracket 8, comma, and then the arrow keep pointing to the right side, so it becomes infinity. Infinity always parentheses. Okay, next example, Same scenario, just different, a little bit different. Same thing here. I have a number in the bottom. So move this 3 to the left side. When you move the bottom number, this 3 right here, the bottom number to the left hand side, it becomes a multiplications. Okay, so when you move the number in the bottom to the other side, it becomes a multiplication. So 3 times -2 gives me -6. Okay, however, in this situation, it is best that letter are on the right hand side because it's easier to understand and easier to read. Okay, so one more time. Move the bottom number to the right hand side. To the other side. Here in this situation, move this 3 to the left side, and that becomes a multiplications. 3 times -2 gives me -6. Okay, it is best that letters on the left hand side and number on the right hand side. It's easier to read and to understand. So flip the whole thing over. Just literally flip the whole thing over. So instead of -6 less than n, it becomes n greater than -6. Okay, so that's how you flip. Just flip the whole entire answer over. Okay, so this is my answer. Now use my answer to make my graph. Again, when you graph, always put 0 because that's where it starts. Okay, that's my indicator. Okay, after that, put the -6 in. Again, you do not have to do -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. Just somewhere on the left side of 0, put -6. Okay, next, this arrow right here is facing to the right side. So from -6 to the right side. There's no line underneath right here where I am circling. There's no line underneath here, so we will use parentheses, and this is considered open. So open parentheses. Why is this open? Because there is no line underneath. Okay, so from -6 all the way to the right side, using parentheses because this is open. Why is open? Because there's no line underneath here. Okay, after that, using the graph to write interval notations. When you write interval notations, start from the left, go to the right. So here we go. Left, nothing, nothing, nothing. There's nothing here until you reach -6. So -6 has parentheses. So -6 parentheses followed by a comma, and then keep going to the right side. As you can see, this is keep going to the right side. So infinity, always use parentheses. Okay, so this is the answers to the problem. This is the graph. This is the interval notations. Okay, so one more time. When to use parentheses? When I have no line underneath. Why is infinity always parentheses? Because you can't really reach to infinity. You can't count to infinity. So infinity has to be always parentheses or open. Okay, now back up here. When do we use bracket? When I have a line underneath. When I see a line underneath, I use bracket, bracket. Okay, so this is part 1 for solve inequality.